With the mysterious beauty of its cypress trees more fitting for Gulf Coast swamps, Reelfoot Lake in northwest Tennessee is a remote destination for thousands of tourists who come to see its most famous resident.
The bald eagle is a bird of the water. They're a bird of the large rivers, lakes, and actually the coast.
For years, state naturalist David Haggard saw bald eagles only during the winter.
In 1954, there were about 15 eagle nests in the Reelfoot area. By 1961, they were gone, and they were gone from the state and from the region, actually.
They were gone almost everywhere, dying by the thousands. Hard to imagine, really, that our nation's symbol, one that we have come to learn and love since our childhoods, the image of freedom and might pictured by people worldwide, came very close to never being seen again.
We're monitoring and we're continuing to educate people because we can still, we can still lose this. DDT just about wiped it out, so there's still the possibility of something like that happening.
The relationship between bald eagles and people who till the land has always been a complicated one. Livestock were tempting targets for the birds of prey, so back in the 1940s, farmers baited the fields and the birds' nests with the powerful insecticide DDT. It worked, almost too well.
We did not get a re-nest here on Reelfoot until 1987. We had one nest in 87, 3 nests in 88, and then last year we were up to 17 nests. And statewide last year we were up over about 150 nests. So it's unbelievable how much they have come back in 25 years.
The return of the bald eagles from near extinction, a true success story, hasn't been easy. During his years of studying the bird and its nesting habits, David Haggard has gone from despair to hope to cautious optimism.
Okay, this nest has been in this tree since the early 90s, so a little over 15 years. It's used consistently. It's not uncommon for a pair of eagles to use that same nest year after year after year. Land between the lakes and here at Reelfoot were the first 2 locations chosen to reintroduce bald eagles. From 1980 to 1987, 43 young eagles were released here at the lake.
How the new eagles get there and other places around our state is a story in itself. The TWRA and other agencies, through a process called hacking, place bald eagle chicks in artificial nests. Typically, the eagles will return within 75 miles of the nest site when they are about 5 years old.
We've had hacking sites all over the state where we'd bring in young birds that hadn't learned to fly. We'd bring them in from somewhere else, or they were captive bred. And then we'd get them oriented towards the proper habitat in hack sites, as they overlooked it from about 8 weeks of age till they could fly for the first time at about 12 weeks of age. So when they would come back to nest in, they would think of themselves as Tennessee eagles.
You never know how many survive, but a lot of the original nest in the 80s and 90s, one of the pair, at least, if not both of the pair, were banded, which told us they were probably released birds. For years, we also climbed into the nest and banded the babies to try to keep track of those.
Here in the Mid-State area, one of the eagle's success stories is the Williamsport Wildlife Management Area. The lakes here, as well as the nearby Duck River, offer a perfect location for the eagles to nest and thrive. On a beautiful fall day in Murray County, eagle conservationist Bob Hatcher joins the TWRA's Polly Rooker and Tommy Edwards for a walk through the woods, hoping to get close to a nest site. Hatcher is a former endangered species coordinator with the TWRA, whose passion for the bald eagle knows no bounds.
I feel even better when I see other people looking at them with awe. I'll look at the people while they look at the eagles a lot of times, and it's just awe-inspiring to people, and that's awe-inspiring to me, to see their excitement about it.
Even without its residents, a bald eagle nest is an impressive sight. Keeping a safe distance, it seems to us the carefully constructed combination of sticks and limbs is about 50 feet high.
This is a relatively small one.
And 5 feet in diameter. With water nearby, nests like this and their occupants are becoming more of a usual occurrence these days.
they're really quite common. If you're out in the wilderness like we are, a hunter or a duck hunter particularly, or if you're a fisherman, you see them quite commonly on the low hickory and areas like that.
With our growing awareness of the bald eagle's fight for life, we must remember the bird's biggest trouble still comes from us. Widespread development is taking away important habitat.
Development can be a big problem, and you have to plan for both, because development is needed as well as protection of the bald eagles.
Careless hunters either shoot bald eagles by mistake or break the law and kill them on purpose. Bald eagles are killed by traffic while scavenging for food near roads, and they perish when coming into contact with giant wind turbines or high-voltage power lines across the landscape. But with all our major lakes and rivers in Tennessee, the number of bald eagles living here year-round is growing. During this day on Reelfoot Lake, David Haggard spots about 50 eagles, most of which he says never leave, enough to cause him to feel good about the future.
We're now seeing fourth and fifth generation of eagles that typically are returning to nest in the area where they grew up. And that's why the numbers have finally started to grow so fast.
The bald eagle's amazing return from near extinction is a success story, a hard lesson learned for us all, and one that future generations now must build on.
The most important thing, I think, is working with children, because children will grow up and they will have this concept their entire life, you know, the importance of the environment and how to love the environment, and really just how critical it is, how easily we can lose it.
Not only should we take care of our natural world, but also one of its leading citizens that is very special to each of us, the bald eagle. I'm Alan Griggs on Tennessee's Wild Side.